Hello, and welcome to Live by Moonlight, where it's not a phase to write a song about how much you want to cheat on your wife.
You really did that, huh?
Yeah, and it wasn't even like a good one. Like, I don't know, when I saw the lyrics that Camila was holding up, I was like, okay.
She picks it up and she's like, Billy, this is shit. What's gotten into
like,
you?
Not only are you cheating on me, you're also bad at songwriting now?
Aw, what happened? You broke it. All right, so in these new episodes of Daisy Jones and the Six has decided to let Daisy into the band after their hit song Honeycomb takes the band to the top of the charts. As Karen and Graham slowly become more than friends, Billy and Daisy try to find ways to work together. Meanwhile, Simone has moved to New York to get away from a very difficult start to her singing career in LA.
That's right. At some point, Billy and Daisy start to try to work it out, but it's clear that there's some tension between them both that results in Daisy and Billy kissing, aka Billy kissing Daisy. So now the two clearly have this like weird tense energy. Meanwhile, Camila is trying to take back her identity from just being a mother and kind of being excluded from the Six. So she maybe possibly sleeps with Eddie? Question mark? Unclear, but also very obvious. Daisy and Billy continue fighting, and this ultimately results in Daisy leaving the country.
All right, Umberlin, so who are you?
You're ready.
I'm ready
You're
to
like,
skip.
All right, let's just talk about this. Hello, everyone. I'm Emberlyn, and I am completely in control of my faculties.
Yeah, you are. Like, I know what you mean, but at the same time, I'm picturing like a school faculty that you're in charge of.
I'm actually a school administrator. It's something she says in the pool when she's like, right. But yeah, I also happen to be a school administrator. I'm the superintendent of an area school.
I'm Caitlin, and I really, really desperately want the waffles from the place that you and I go to all the time.
Oh my
really
gosh.
Good waffles. Packing my bags. Also, much like Daisy, I would like to leave the country because it won't stop snowing.
Oh, is it snowing again?
We got more snow.
No.
And I'm over it.
No, yeah, this is getting ridiculous. Somebody should call the police.
You need to leave.
Somebody come and escort the snow out of the building.
Literally, please.
Maybe don't call the police then. Somebody needs to call the weatherman.
So, Umberlyn, what was your hook for these episodes?
So, I think it came kind of late in the first episode for me, but I really liked the scene. I think this was the strength of the whole season, is the party at Camila's and Billy's where the power goes out. Because Karen starts playing the piano and like riffing, and then the lights being off and the candles, like the lighting was really good. It's one of the rare instances where an Amazon Prime show has like done a good job with their lighting. And Billy is like holding Julie, and he starts singing, and Daisy starts singing. Like, it's just a good vibe. Like, I remember watching it and being like, this is like, I want to go to there. Like, that's really cool. Like, that's like the warm and cozy feeling that I feel like a good party gives you. I really like that scene.
It was big, that episode of Drake and Josh where their power goes out and they all start singing.
Oh, they so fucking stole that. That's not funny. Wait, no, my God, that's not funny. Because I'm sitting here thinking to myself, this makes me so nostalgic and like.
No, I was too.
Almost mournful. Like, why? What am I mourning? It turns out I'm mourning an episode of Drake and Josh.
Yeah, because I was watching it and I was like, oh, this is so, like the entire time I'm like, oh, I miss summer. Maybe it's because I'm in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
It just is never ending. But I was like, oh, I want it to be summer. I want to have like get-togethers with my friends and like have like little parties and get-togethers and like we all sing together when the power goes out. And it was just like,
yeah, same.
It was just such a nice. It's like one of those environments where like, how can you be sad?
No,
you know?
Exactly.
It was nice.
Very nice. What was your hook for this episode?
So I really liked seeing the development of Karen and Graham's relationship because throughout the book I was always rooting for them But also like understanding that they fit the theme of meeting the right person at the wrong time. Which like to me, like for them it's like almost a little bit more heartbreaking because they clearly do love each other so much, but they're just on completely different paths. And it's just like, aw.
Yeah.
Ow. This hurts.
I agree.
So just being able to like see, obviously Graham has loved Karen from the start, but just also see like Karen kind of like slowly realize that she has feelings for him too, and seeing that like she has a lot of face journeys that she goes on as she's like staring after him, and I'm just like, ah, kiss him. And then they did, and I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, she was like, fuck that girl in the car out there.
Poor Caroline.
What happened to Caroline? Caroline probably sat out there for like a good like 10 minutes and was like, this is happening, okay. I'm a Rhodes Scholar. I got more on my plate than this. I could do better than this. Yeah, I hope she felt that way.
She could.
I hope that's what happened.
Yeah. So I enjoyed seeing that develop throughout these episodes. That was nice.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I was kind of rooting for them in the book too until like the very end. What was your favorite? Well, did you have any favorite quotes from this string of episodes?
I did. I had a few, and most of them come from Daisy because I honestly think she carries this show.
She does. Yeah.
But the first one that made me burst out laughing was when they're performing at that festival and Daisy comes out at song 2 when she should have been at song 4, and like Billy's like annoyed with her, and he's like, did you like not hear me? Like I told you like song 4. And she's like, oh, I thought you already played 3 songs because they all sound the same. I thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
And I also liked her, she's like writing songs and she goes, you're a dick. You're a dick. It's like something about that. Yeah. Another one that made me laugh really hard was when they were in the recording studio and Daisy's yelling at Billy like all of their songs should be as much as like Billy's as much as they are hers or Karen's or Graham's and Warren's. And then she points at Eddie and she goes, or that guy's.
Love that. Humble him.
And he's just in the background and he just kind of nods and is like, yeah,
I'm that guy.
I wasn't expecting to laugh as much watching this, and I did a lot these episodes, so it was really good.
Yeah, I think that first quote, first of all, because it's true, like all of the songs I feel like that Billy writes kind of do sound the same, to where I'm like, wait, which one is this? You know, like every time. But I'm also like, because of the repetition of the songs throughout the episodes, like for various concerts they perform at, I'm starting to like, they're starting to catch on for me. So I'm at that point where I'm like, oh yeah, this is this one. when it comes on, like they're slowly conditioning me to like the songs, and it's like kind of unfortunate, but also they do all sound the same, and I respect her for saying that. I agree with you. I think Riley Keough really carries this show. She's just so quippy. One of my favorite quotes was when Graham puts on In My Room by the Beach Boys. And she starts dancing and she's like, you know this song? Which is like so funny because like he put it on, like it's obviously the song that changed his life, but he's not really responding to it. So she's kind of just like, oh, I thought this was your jam, like, you know. And then when she points out to him when he's talking about some of the songs he writes all these great like romance songs about Camila, and she says, you write songs about who you wish you were, not who you are.
Yeah, that was good.
That's like so good because like I think the more I'm watching the series, and I think if I went back and read the book again, I'd probably realize that that's very true. Like, I think the book paints a picture of Billy that's very like, oh, honorable. I wouldn't have ever cheated on Camila. Like, there were girls here and there, and things happened, but at the end of the day, it was always me and her. And I wrote this song Aurora about her. But then I think watching the show, and obviously I don't know, I take some issue with this because I feel like the show kind of takes away the measure of speculation that the book gives you. Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like that's a really great line because it kind of, at least for show Billy, that kind of summarizes his character to a T.
I really liked that line because I did, like when I was reading the book, I kind of always felt that Billy was like with I think it was Aurora, where it's like he's fantasizing like, oh yeah, this is who I, like trying to convince himself like, yeah, no, that's me, like this is me.
Yeah.
I swear it's me, when it isn't. So I felt that from the book. So hearing that in the show, and I was like, yeah, you did
got
it.
him. You got
him.
I don't know why this is, but when she comes out to the band when they're putting together a song and she says it needs to be swampier, I knew exactly what she was talking about for some reason. Like, I don't know how to describe. It was just, I don't know. Have you ever seen that? I'll try to describe it. This is going to be like really lame and it's not going to work very well. But do you know that song by Little Big Town? It's, what is it? On the pontoon. That's what I think about when I hear it. It needs to sound swampier. I'm like, yeah, it needs to sound like it's, you're in the pontoon boat.
I think of like a drum hit that isn't clean at all. Like it kind of like, it reverberates, not in the sense that it echoes, but in the sense that it's like wider. I don't know how to describe it other than that.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Maybe you use like a loose wrist when you hit the drum.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know that. I love that. And then when she's in the pool and she's kind of having her little breakdown and she says to Billy, I think you're the most talented person I've ever met besides me.
Yeah.
She knows her worth. I respect that so much. Like, good for her. Good for her.
She's never going to put him on the pedestal because she's right next to him anyway. So
exactly. So let's talk about our two peaks in a valley for this show. Like, what really stuck out to you? What kind of fell flat for you? Tell me a little bit about your first peak.
So my first peak was kind of surprising to me because I never ever want them to be together, but the tension between Billy and Daisy was unreal. Like, I was genuinely holding my breath in some scenes with the way that Riley Keough and Sam Claflin looked at each other and how close they were standing. Specifically the scene on the beach, because I was like, oh my God. I was like, it was also fear because I'm like, please don't, I don't want you to kiss, know? And I'm just like, don't do that. And also just like I think it was more a fear of like, how are they going to change it? How are they going to change the story? And are they going to do that? So I was like holding my breath, but you can just like feel the tension between them so easily. And then the face journey that Billy has after as he's watching Daisy sing the song after he kissed her was insane, because he does like this little smile that he quickly drops as if he's catches himself, but he can't help but being awe of her as she's singing, because he's like, yeah, I got you to do this, and then also like, I do have these feelings for you, but I shouldn't, and I hate him for it.
Yeah, that was one of my peaks, is just like kind of their dynamic this episode. I feel like their chemistry was really palpable in this set of episodes, to where I was like more interested in their character development and their potential affair. And I like that. I was really looking forward to the scene where they write together at Teddy's house. I feel like it's there that we kind of start to see them humanize each other, and you start to see the stark differences between them, especially in their creative processes. And the thing that, and then also the things that really connect them, like Daisy is much more free-spirited, and then Billy, in an effort to reel himself in, is much more disciplined, but at the same time they both have this kind of this like, like darkness about them. Like, they've both kind of been very much wronged in their lives by their parents, and it kind of fucked them up for life. So I really like that we kind of get to see more of that in these episodes, to the point where like when they did kiss, I was just like, they have like really good chemistry. I understand why it's like this I understand why their relationship is so captivating to people. So
yeah, because remind me, in the book, isn't it just like she leans in?
Yeah, and he doesn't. He says he doesn't kiss her. Yeah, and it never happens. But then it's like, I don't know. There's a question there of like, did it actually ever happen?
Because then like, who told that part in the book? Was it Daisy or was it Billy?
I think they both told pieces of it, but I feel like we never really. Neither of them ever own up to being together intimately. Right. But I also feel like it is palpable that they could have had a relationship, because you can always either collectively or independently make a decision not to disclose certain things about that time. If you think it'd be bad for both your images to disclose that you had an affair with your wife, who's now, gone, dead, that's your choice. But I think that's a really interesting choice and I think this is where things kind of get choppy, because this is what I'm saying. Like, in the book, you can kind of interpret things as you like to see them, but you can't really do that with a television show, because they show you what is perceived to be the truth, like what is canonically the truth in the television show, and that kind of makes it more difficult to interpret the book. But also, it doesn't. You could just not watch the show, or like take the show as like not canon, and then you'd be set. Right. What was your second peak? How about what was the other thing that really wiggled your wagon?
The other thing that really wiggled my wagon was I low-key love that Camila's the one who took the picture that ends up being the album cover.
Yeah.
I mean, she better be getting credit for that. But I just feel like it adds so much depth to that whole storyline. And I love that she was there for the photo shoot, because I don't think she was in the book. I can't remember exactly, but I like that she was there, and I loved like seeing her conflict with it, because like in the book I always felt like, yeah, like she couldn't stand her ground, and she, like, you know, she's not gonna let Billy ruin her life or their lives together.
Yeah.
But and like she, you know, told Daisy how it was a couple times, but I like that we're seeing the fact that she's just not okay with this.
No, yeah.
And because it's like, I feel like you could almost easily see her as like, oh, she's chill, you know? She's like I don't know how like to describe it, but I liked seeing the fact that she was seeing them, because Billy would come home at night, but she would never know exactly what was going on in between the times that he was gone.
Yeah.
And so the fact that she's seeing it for herself, this like tension that Billy and Daisy have, and it just really adds to it, and it just makes me like want to just protect her so much more, because she's going through so much right now, and it's terrible. And Billy is not a likable character.
No.
I didn't really like him all that much in the book, and a lot of it is because of his ego, and like he gets in his own way.
Yeah, he does.
He's got Camila, and he just doesn't.
Yeah.
He
I
is
know.
just throwing all of that away, and it's just I just want to shake him.
I know. Also, Camila's outfit in that scene, like.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Slay.
The outfits in the show are just like spectacular. Like whoever's doing, as usual, whoever is doing wardrobe for these shows, pull up to my house. Show me how to wear my clothing in my closet.
Literally. What was your second peak?
I think Riley Keough, and I mentioned this before, but I think she's really killing it as Daisy. Like her attention to detail and interest in adapting book Daisy really comes through. I remember we saw a TikTok the other day about how she was really keen on getting the right hairstyle for Daisy based on fan art of Daisy from the past for the past year or so.
Yeah.
And I think that's really special, like when an actor or an actress, like if the character's been adapted already, like in another form, if they've already been created, if they already exist, like the actor takes the time to look back and see what that character is perceived as by the fans, and actually try to adapt some of that into their, into their portrayal of the character.
Yeah.
I also think, like, as an actress, she's really interesting because, like, in this show, she has a very concise diction that kind of resembles the end of a transatlantic accent, which is super common for the 70s to have, like, a very clear dictation and, like, a very clear pattern of speaking, but it's not exactly transatlantic because, like, it's no longer, like, the 20s and 30s and 40s, but it's like, not necessarily the way that we talk today either. That's a little more drawn out. So I think that's really interesting. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it's something I've noticed and I've always thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, she's got, like, every time she speaks, I'm like, keep going. Like,
please continue.
Got such an interesting voice, and it really just works for her character too.
It does.
Love it.
What was your valley for this episode?
I don't know if I like that Camila potentially was with Eddie for a moment. I don't know how I feel about it, and I don't know how I feel about it for many reasons. So at first I was like, no what are you doing? Because I don't know if I just I mean, Eddie of all people, Camila.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like if like anybody, him, you know?
Yeah.
But like, I know they probably did that for the sense of like, we know who Eddie is, but like also, I feel like it could have, if she was gonna like go have her moment and almost like, I guess, get even with Billy. Like, I don't know if she needed to get even,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know if that was necessary. I think she could have just gone out and had some drinks and maybe like just, you know, had a night for herself. But like, I don't know if like that was necessary, but there was also like, it could have easily been the guy that she was talking to in like the photo.
Oh,
when
yeah.
they were like developing photos. I'm like, I feel like it would have made sense for him because he was already kind of like coming on to her. So why did it have to be one of the bandmates? You know, I don't think that was necessary. But also, like, here's the reason why I'm like almost like not necessarily okay with it, but like I can see why it works is because in the book, obviously, you have all of these different narrators and conflicting memories and storylines. So you don't really know what happens. And in the book, there was a part where Billy says that Camila went out for a lunch date with someone that she knew from school years ago, and so they met up, but then she was gone for longer than a normal lunch date should be, and when she came home, he asked her how it was, and she said that was good, and that was it. And that's all. Like, whatever happened that day happened, but like at the end of the day, it was still the two of them. So I'm okay with the fact that maybe it wasn't like she could have told him it was someone from school and it was somebody else. Like, I don't know, like, you never know because you don't know who's telling the truth and who's like, so like that's why I'm like, I'm okay with that, because maybe like my interpretation of it was different, and maybe like someone else who read the book could have a completely different interpretation, and it's because like you don't know what is real and what isn't. And so and even in the show, you don't know what happened because it shows them talking, but then it cuts to her crying in the car when she comes home, and then she says, I just needed a secret of my own. That secret could have been so much. And I mean, it's kind of implied more with the fact that Eddie like kind of runs away from Billy when he comes back into the studio the next day. So like I feel like and he's like, hey, bye. Just so dumb. But like I feel like that definitely implies that something more happened. But also you don't know. So it rubbed me the wrong way, but it's not gonna ruin anything for me. Like I still feel like like I've said before, my biggest fear is like them ruining Camila's character. But like at first I was like, she wouldn't do that, but I'm like, yeah, well, maybe she would. I don't know. She's kind of pissed if Billy's going off and doing this stuff, you know. But I don't know how I feel about it, but I also get it. It's basically my valley.
I would have to agree with you. I would say that my valley was kind of Camila being paired with Eddie as well, just because it's Eddie. Like, he just kind of gives me the ick. Like, like, and I think, I mean, I would defend Camila's adultery to the end, because I think she deserves to try to like take back some of her agency in a world where she doesn't really feel like she has control anymore. And I would use the example of like Princess Diana cheating with other men when Charles was cheating on her with Camilla. And I would just, I mean, I defend her with my life for doing that, because he started it, you know, like, again, here, like, he started it. He started it, so, you know what, like, she should be allowed to finish it, like, good for her. And I think my issue is probably just with the execution, because you're right, there was that great scene in the book where Billy talks about Camila's potential affairs with a school friend, and I almost kind of wish there'd been a scene where he got to talk about that, like, on camera. Maybe that was something that he could have said, you know, in his interview or whatever, instead of showing it and having it also be with Eddie. I feel like there were just other ways that affair could have been demonstrated, or lack thereof could have been demonstrated in the book, that didn't have anything to do with Eddie. And like, there was something about whoever was directing that next scene where Billy comes in and Eddie just sees him and turns around, should have gotten like 8 more takes of that, because there was something very like giving a child directions in the school play about it. Like, okay, Eddie, you're gonna walk out and you're gonna turn around and go back in again. Like, there was something very
so quick
automated about it, automated, like very, very robotic about that. That was like didn't really sit well with me. And
yeah, because it was like he was running away before the camera even panned over to him.
Yeah,
where it's just like you can like get that was Eddie considering what just happened, but at the same time I was like, huh? He was literally a blur across the screen.
Yeah, and I also feel like Book Eddie wouldn't have run away. Book Eddie would have been like, yeah, I fucked your wife. Yeah, what are you gonna do about it now, huh?
Yeah.
I fucked your wife.
Yeah, that was weird. And you think that Billy wouldn't have gone like, well, that was weird. Why are you doing that? It was like, it was something very high school about it. And like, yeah, like, I don't know. I would have questioned it a little bit more. I'd been like, oh, that was weird. Because I think the whole thing in the book is that like, Billy doesn't know what happened.
Yeah.
He doesn't truly know. And I feel like that moment of Eddie running away from him is like enough for Billy to be like, oh, so you were with my wife last night. That's where she was.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like that takes away from the, oh, we don't know.
Or just never put 2 and 2 together, because he's probably like, my wife would never fuck Eddie. That guy sucks. That guy's a loser. Like,
that's fair.
like I got her.
He looks at him, he's like,
on my finger. Yeah.
Nah.
Literally. So, what song would you rage to if you suspected your husband was cheating on you, Caitlin?
Oh, classic You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette.
Whee!
Please and thank you.
Yeah. Oh my god,
Perfect.
great song.
The best FU song, I think, ever.
Yeah, that's a good song.
It's great. The amount of times I'm just like, even when someone hasn't wronged me, I'm just like, yeah, I need to scream this song
I want you to know. Yeah, oh my god. She's
so
the queen of that. Whenever I think of this song, I remember that it's about Dave Coulier from
I know
Full House, Uncle Joey. And it just like it like reorders my brain chemistry in a way that's like, what?
Many times when this song is playing and my mom is around, because my mom is the reason why I love Alanis Morissette, because my mom is iconic like that. Every time like the song is playing and I'm singing it, my mom will look at me and be like, you know, this is about Uncle Joey, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I do, because this is brought up every time it's played, and it's just like, it's so funny because I always just think of him going, cut it out.
Yeah. I bet he
like
said that to her and she smacked him.
Yeah, as she should have.
Yeah, wow, that's a good one.
What song would you play?
I Said the Chain by Fleetwood Mac. I think all my songs are just gonna be like Fleetwood Mac songs. Oh yeah. Which will be really funny. But like specifically the version, it's live at the Forum, Los Angeles. It's from 1982. Because there's a part at the end where Lindsey Buckingham absolutely shreds it on the guitar and screams the Running Through the Shadows piece. It's so good. I like when I'm running, when I go for my morning runs now, he goes, because it's like, Jen, keep us together. He goes, yes, I'm running, yes, I'm running. And whenever I go out running now, I'm like, yes, I'm running, yes, I'm running. Like, because it's just it's so catchy. I don't know why. I don't know. He must have been so angry during that scene. But there's a comment on the YouTube video for that specific performance. That's like it's like watching your divorced parents have a fight in the kitchen or something like that.
Literally.
Which it super is. It's so good.
Another thing about, since you've brought up the chain, I think that the beginning of Honeycomb sounds all very similar to the chain.
Yeah, they got the same
the way it's like slowly, like you hear the drum beat and then the guitar comes in. It's like not exact, but it's just enough to where every time I hear it, I'm like, huh?
Yeah, like you think it's gonna go in a whole different direction.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Honeycomb. It's Honeycomb, because whatever song started the beginning of episode 4, I was like, huh?
What's kind of funny about this show is there are like a lot of bands that exist in real life, like the Byrds. And I just think it'd be really funny if like one of the episodes was like Fleetwood Mac sending them a cease and desist letter for copying their likeness.
That'd be so funny.
Like,
all of the
bands impersonating us.
Yeah, every band exists in Daisy Jones except for Fleetwood Mac or something.
Which is crazy to think about. It's
of all bands.
Yeah, like, okay. Is there a character you would write a hit song about?
Camila.
Oh, yeah.
Enough said. It just hurts me because she cares so much, obviously, about Billy, but also she cares about Daisy. Like, she's so excited for her to, like, be a part of their family, and she tells Daisy, like, we wouldn't have this house if it wasn't for you, and, like, she invited her to the party because she wanted to meet her, and, like, you could see it, I'm like, oh, you could see their friendship possibly form if, like, Daisy knew how to, like, be cared for in that way, and, like, when Camila's just like, we're a family, we take care of each other, we'll take care of you, you take care of us, and, like, it just hurts me that, like, Camila had, like, well, like she says, like, trust, it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do, and the fact that she put that trust in Daisy and she put that trust in Billy, and, you know, they did her dirty like that. That's why I'm like, yeah, we shit on Billy all the time because he's cheating on his wife, but also, like, it makes me mad because I'm like, Daisy, you know, he's married, and it, like, ugh, it hurts because it's like Camila was so ready and willing to be there for Daisy, and then they just went and hurt her. Like,
and not just that, but, like, Camila is kind of the person that pushes Daisy and Billy together in the very beginning, you know, like, she's the one saying, you know, I think I just need to give him a little push, and, like, pushes. And that's why she invites Daisy, not just to get closer to her, but also to, like, get Billy and Daisy to finally try to work together so that they can actually become a band fully. So it's, like, so unfortunate. Like, oops. Did I do that? Oops. For me, this past couple of episodes, I feel like were really strong episodes for Daisy and her character development. So I'd probably write a song about her. I really do feel like she did carry these few episodes, and I was 100%. really invested in her character throughout, and I also just like her character. I feel like she's very, like, spiritual and yet very sure of herself. Like, she kind of has this air of, like, I don't give a fuck, but I also really do care, and I do give a fuck. I really like her character, like, a lot.
No, because I feel the exact same. Like, she's very complex. Where, like, and I think what I like about her is that she's sure of herself, but, you know, there's so much doubt there. Like, I liked the moment where, you know, she's talking to Billy before they go on stage, and he's telling her, like, oh, I know it can be scary, whatever, and but it's gonna be okay. And she's like, is this pep talk for you? Because I'm fine. Like, I'm good. But then the band goes out on stage, and then you see her, like, by herself, and that's where she almost, like, drops the facade, because she, like, kind of, like, leans against something and, like, drops her head, and then she has to, like, you know, take some drugs and drink some alcohol before she gets out on stage herself. So, like, she wants the world to think that she's good and she's fine, but she really isn't.
But she's not fine. She's really seriously struggling with addiction. So
but you tell them that you're fine, but you're really not fine.
You're fine, but you're not fine. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. So what character would you smash a guitar over?
Oh my god, it's gonna be Billy. I feel like it's gonna be Billy every episode.
I think we're gonna love Camila and Daisy and protect them, and then we're gonna smash Billy. Yeah,
he's got such a god complex, and he's, like, so controlling, and he just, like, there's just nothing interesting to me about him. It's, like, one of those cases where it's, like, there are all these beautiful, incredible, strong women around Billy, and he's just mediocre. And I feel like I just don't care. Like, I don't care about him. When he says to Daisy when they're writing at Teddy's place, and he says, someone did a number on you, and he calls Daisy broken. I'm sorry? Like, who said you could talk to her like that? Like, I don't know. Like, he says so many awful things, but that just really got me, because I think there's a certain way sometimes that, like, dudes talk about women's healing and experiences. I hear the word daddy issues a lot, and I just, like, really, like, when he said that brought back some memes for me. I was like, you know what you should go through the glass behind you, like, truly. Also his blowout on the 90s for, like, the interviews, like, be fucking for real. He looks like Kendall Jenner, like, the straight hair. I was like, are you a newscaster? Are you a fucking, I can't, like, it's too much.
He looks like he's trying to cosplay the Winter Soldier to me. That's
oh my god, it is giving Bucky vibes. Yeah. In the scene, okay, and then also, this is, like, not relevant at all, but in the scene where on the beach, and Daisy tells him her real name, and it's Margaret. I think it'd be funny if when he said, "I have a confession for you," he concluded with, "My name is also Margaret." Like, that's my real name as well.
Oh my god, my real name is
Twin
Margaret.
flames.
When you have the same name.
Who is yours?
I mean, Billy, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, there was something that, like, he's not a favorite at all for me at all. And I know I've already said this, but, like, a lot of it is because he has that ego.
Yeah.
But, and, like, I'm sorry, but if you, like, if you can't get over yourself to see that, like, someone's, like, you know, Daisy does make the song better. She makes the band better. And he's so against her joining the band because he's just like, no, this is my thing. And this is my band. And it's not going how I want, so therefore no one can have fun. And it's just like,
yeah.
He's not even doing it for the band. He's never done it for anybody else but himself. And it just bothers me so much because I'm just like, get over yourself. Like, you're not that great.
He's exhausting. And he never lets anybody... I feel like Daisy allows room for other members of the band to contribute creatively.
Yeah.
And that's just not something he's willing to do. He's, like, being a real poo-poo head about it. So...
Right. And, like, even Eddie's, like, Daisy was saying stuff that I've been saying for years.
Yeah.
And it's just finally, like, there was a line that Billy says something about, like, something about fighting with other people. And she's just like, how do you know you're a good fighter? Because, like, no one fights with you, you know, something along those lines. I'm like, yeah, because everyone just kind of follows his lead and, like, they're clearly unhappy, but, like, they don't say anything about it because Billy doesn't let them.
Yeah.
And the scene that really, like, made me not like him more was the fact, like, when he's telling her, like, interrupting her, like, going, like, again and again, and, like, in the recording studio when she's, like, singing. And it was so I hated it because it's like, I hated the fact that he felt like he had control over her, and he's just like, oh, well, she didn't show up yesterday, so it's the least we can do. I'm like, no, now you're just being a dick. You're just, like, every time he said again, I'm like, somebody stop him. Like, he's just totally, like, luring over her, and I hated it so much, and it just made me feel bleh.
Yeah, he put a bird in a cage and then made it sing, which is, like, very gross and, like, ew.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. So
Sticky.
I just the fact that he thinks that, like, any of this is okay, and then just the fact that he won't admit to himself that he's the problem.
Yeah. It almost makes the show kind of hard to watch because it's like you want to root for Daisy, you want to root for Camila, but, like, you can't root for Billy, and Billy is their prime love interest.
Yeah.
So, like, you're just, like, left with, like, this feeling of, like, oh, maybe Daisy and Camila should get together, which is, I feel like, a thing that happens a lot now. It's like, oh, two amazing women, one mediocre dude.
Get rid of him and then we're happy.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes for a really interesting story because you're like, oh, where is this gonna go? Like, but when he's there all the time, and, like, I root for him in the sense where, like, I want him to
be better,
stay clean, and you want to see him get better. But when he takes the people around him down with him, it just makes it harder. But it is a compelling story in that way. So that's what I really liked about the book, where it's just like, oh, Billy, I want to root for you, but you're making it so hard. So
no, I know
he's making choices
were made. So, Caitlin, let's remind the audience of what our tier list tiers are.
At the very top, we have Made Me Eat All My House's Drywall and the Accompanying Nails.
Delicious.
The second tier is Made Me Mentally Ill Affectionate. Neutral, Like My pH Balance. Made Me Mentally Ill Foreboding. And then finally, at the very bottom, we have Riverdale Core.
Where does this string of episodes fall on our tier list for you?
I'm gonna put it up at Mentally Ill Affectionate.
Because
I really was enjoying it so much more. Like, I was having fun, I was in it, and I think a lot of it is because, again, like I said in the last episode, like, I wasn't truly in it until Daisy showed up with the band, and so I feel like having all of their dynamics all together now made it way more enjoyable, and we were getting to some of the parts of the book that were my favorite. Like you mentioned, the writing session between Billy and Daisy. Like I really liked seeing that. I loved seeing them like record and perform together. Like I thought that was really great. So I really did enjoy these few episodes. I still think that if I didn't read the book, I probably never would watch the show.
Yeah.
In the sense that, like, yeah, it's an interesting story, but it doesn't, like, grab me as much as other shows have had. I'm in it because I want to just see how they do it. I'm not in it because, I don't know how to describe it. It's like I'm neutral on it, but I'm entertained, but at the same time, I probably, once this is over, I won't think about the show again.
Ever again in my life, yeah.
Yeah. I think the biggest impact it'll have is my summer wardrobe this year, which is going to be everything that Daisy wears.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I did really enjoy these episodes, and I thought they were really good.
I'm gonna put this string at Riverdale core, because there were just a couple things I think just that didn't work for me in terms of like the staging, like that scene with Eddie where he just like turns around really quickly and walks away, or like something I cannot, that's been haunting me since I watched these last night, was the very end scene where she pulls up to where did she end up in? Was it Rome? Italy, yeah.
Somewhere.
And it's like she pulls up and there's a voiceover of somebody asking how long she's gonna stay, and she's like, oh, I haven't really figured it out yet. And it's just, the voiceover was so off-putting to me. Like, it just didn't fit for me. I feel like they didn't need it. It was like the dubbing over, you could tell it was done in a studio someplace. It was just very cheap to me.
Yeah, I get that.
And then I think I persist with the feeling that a lot of the music, like this whole vibe, the vibe is very Diet Fleetwood Mac for me. Like, it's just really not, it's just not really, it's like, there are parts of it that I'm enjoying. I'm really enjoying Riley Keough, but I think that the acting is kind of mid, and I think, and then I also think in classic Riverdale core fashion, there are parts of it that are very glamorous and interesting and like appeal to my little noggin. But I do also think like it's kind of like they could do a better job. Like it could have been better. All right, well, that's gonna do it for us. Thank you for listening to Lit by Moonlight. Tune in next time when we review episodes 7 and 8 of Daisy Jones and the Six.
Woohoo!
Yay!
I'm looking forward to it, actually.
This could be fun.
Bye.
Bye.